Hello and welcome, or welcome back to West Aussie Diamond Art. My name is Zara and this is a further update on my monster diamond painting of the Last Supper. This is take 2. We tried this yesterday and we had camera issues. Then my husband figured out what the problem was, so we decided to redo from scratch. So you're getting to see it, and it will work this time because he's got the settings on the camera right. But that's a whole other story. So he'll pan down onto the canvas for you, so you can see me actually doing the canvas, and then we'll chat. So I'm now moved on to my next section from yesterday. I completed the section I was on yesterday. Yes. So I'm making progress. This is the second last one on this row, and then I'll move down, which means we've got to move which is actually going to be fun because my husband hasn't finished his side yet, so I'm sort of ahead of him. So we will get to that when we get to it, but it'll need to be moved up. And yeah, we're only about, I think we worked out yesterday, we're only about 15 to 20% through the painting. And we're wanting to get it done before Easter next year. So we've given ourselves a target of about 7 months, I think, 6-7 months. So let's hope we have it done by then. And when we do, you will be getting a video of it, very definitely, because this is a labour of love. But no, so that's the initial stage of where I'm at with this painting. Hubby and I are on holidays at the moment, although his holidays officially finish today. He actually doesn't start back work until Wednesday, but he's got until today off. I've got an extra week. Yeah, so I had 3 weeks off, he's had 2. So that's it's been well worth it. And after a few days into our first week, we went off to a place down south of WA called Bluff Knoll. I'll put the link for information about it in the description box. Actually, it's a beautiful, beautiful area. Hang on, just having a swig of my coffee. And where we were staying, because the mobile phone carrier that we're with, doesn't have reception area up where we were staying, and the cabin that we were in didn't have television or anything like that. We were literally incognito, totally off the grid in that sense. And the closest reception area to us for mobile phone reception was an hour's drive away. And it was really nice actually to be that off the grid for a while, where we were totally untouchable in that sense. It's totally liberating actually. I recommend you do it if you get a chance. It's liberating and it's really energizing. We got a chance to chill, literally and otherwise. It was very cold, but it was so enjoyable because we snuggled up. I thought I might have been overdoing it. I took a big king size quilt that we have that's quite warm. I had a blanket that I took, and at least 3 different types of jackets depending on what the weather was going to be like, and yeah, we needed them all. So the first day that we were there, I was in bed by 8:30, so I was a little bit tired, one might think. So, but we went in my car, which is a modern car, so it has all sorts of sensors on it, and all the dirt that we encountered and flew up, it was playing havoc with the sensors. It kept flagging about how some braking system was not working properly because the radar sensors were dirty, but there was no point us cleaning them because we knew damn well they were going to get dirty again. When we came back, the car had lots of red dirt all over it. Our son ended up cleaning it and managed to get the sensors, the radar sensors clean. But the braking system, all it did was to alert you to if you were too close to a car in front, and it would stop you and actually brake for you. So you basically went back to how you're supposed to have been driving anyway, pre all these modern fangled things. So, but it was a really good experience. My husband tried going up Bluff Knoll, and it was, I went part way with him, got to the end of where the concrete footpath was, looked up, there was dirt and all sorts of, you know, stones and all this sort of thing on it, and then there were steps that were quite deep. And I thought, yeah, no, that's the end for me. I'm going to sit on this seat. You go off and enjoy yourself. I think I must have been sitting there for a good hour. And I thought, no, I've got to head back to the car because I had a jacket on that was water resistant, but I was starting to feel the dampness from the outside getting into the inside, and I was getting really cold. So I went back up to the car. And he worked his way back down, and apparently the steps got deeper than the ones that I saw, because there was a guy that came down not long after my husband continued on, and he said, "Oh, you decided that that's as far as you're going?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Very wise, because the steps get deeper. It's not so bad coming down, but going up, it was hard." So I thought, oh, well, I'm glad I made that choice then. But when my husband got back down, his quads were killing him for quite a few days after, actually. He got to the 2.1k mark, was it? Thinking that he'd actually gone that far, when in fact he had 2.1 more k's to go to get to the summit. It was about 3.3 k's all up, if you're going to do the whole run. But when he realised that he'd only walked about a kilometre, it was a little bit demoralising, he felt. So then, yeah, we went back and to the cabin and we just chilled, played some rummy, and I used the Tiny Decisions app that Rebecca from Admore Zest put us onto ages and ages ago, and I have 2 wheels, one for rounds 1 to 6 of rummy and one for rounds 7 to 100 of rummy, because my daughter and I loved going more than the 6 rounds. But what I did was I would use the wheel to choose which round in the 1 to 6 that my husband and I were going to play. Instead of going in order, we mixed it up, and it actually made it really fun because you didn't know which one you were going to do next. So it's going to be fun trying the other one with my daughter, doing that system. So the Tiny Decisions app is very good, not just for diamond painting. You can do it for playing card games with. But she hadn't thought of doing that with it. So we had some good fun at Bluff Knoll, and then had to get some fuel on the way home. And of course, being in a remote country town, it was a case of, well, where can we get fuel from? And I need 98, what they call 98 fuel here. I think in the UK they have 99, which is probably their equivalent. But there was some, we went to one township, they didn't have any 98, they either had 91 or diesel. And then we found another place where they had 98 Bowser, but there was none left. So we had to keep going, and in the meantime the number of Ks on the gauge of saying how much fuel you've got left before filling up was getting lower and lower. Unfortunately we found one that had 98 fuel. So we had a little break then. Our son just popped in to tell us some further good news about things going on with his education. Get to that hopefully if I remember in a little bit. So going back to being on holiday, when my husband and I were on holiday for a couple of days, I actually got some reading done. There's a book I'm reading at the moment called Birthday Treat by Anthony Self. I tried to get it through my local library system, but neither of the local libraries that I'm with has it. So I did a search on Audible, they didn't have a copy of it, and various other places. In the end I had to buy myself a copy, which I was trying to avoid, but it's the only way I could get the book. It has Hunger Games vibes to it. It's a really interesting book. It's a fiction book, but there was one point in it, it's based in London. This scene is set in London, but it mentions COVID-19. So whilst it's a fiction book, I found myself being slammed straight back into the present in a fiction book, which I found very, very interesting and extremely off-putting, but I liked it. So try and figure that one out. So yeah, we were just able to chill and just do our own thing, which we haven't been able to do for a while, have we?
No.
So these holidays have been well worth it, and then after that we came back home and we've just pretty much been, plodding around doing our own thing at home.
Relaxing.
To a point.
Unwinding.
Yeah. Until my husband found that there was an issue with something to do with work that he had to sort out from a pay point of view while we're on holidays.
That was annoying.
Yeah. Because they're switching from a particular system into another one, and it's causing no end of headache for pretty well everybody. And yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare. And I was getting a little bit down. It's like I'm trying to forget work because I'm on holiday. I don't want to deal with work yet, but there was something that needed to be dealt with, otherwise we might not have been getting paid next week. Which we don't really want. So, but apart from that, it's been very relaxing. My Tupperware lady came yesterday and I got a whole heap of Tupperware for myself and my son. She gave me a super special deal. She's so wonderful to me. I feel very, very honoured. But my son is doing an automotive course because he's wanting to become a mechanic. He loves cars. He's very much like my dad like that.
Our son.
Our son. I don't know why I say my son. But yes, our son is very much like his grandfather, and my dad wanted to be a mechanic actually, and he would have been a really good one. He loved tinkering with cars. Our son's the same. So he's doing a Cert 2 in automotive course, and yeah, that was the other thing I was going to say about the holiday. We saw a lot of road trains, like road train trucks, on our journey to and from where we were going. Now the road trains over here, from what I can understand, are actually different in sizing compared with the ones in America. We can get road trains that have full-size trailers up north, particularly this happens, that are full-length trailers, and they can be 5 long. So you can actually have 5 trailers being pulled by one prime mover. And that's just the road trains. Then you've got your actual trains, which can be kilometres long. Up north, they are really super impressive. And our son-in-law's father actually is an ex-road train driver. He does a lot of suburban stuff now. He doesn't go up north, but he used to work up north. So we saw heaps and heaps of them, and the speed limit around where we were on holiday was 110k an hour. And these things were doing 110k an hour on roads that I don't think the lanes were anywhere near wide enough for the trucks. How they managed to stay in those lanes, I'll never know, but it's probably experience more than anything. But they can pack up a speed, I can tell you. But yeah, it was quite interesting. Then coming back, the people that make the roads over here, I think need to go back and learn how to do things properly. But we have, where we were driving, they have areas where you get overtaking lanes, because you have two lanes, one either way, and because you get a lot of road trains and it's up and down hills and stuff, they'll put in these overtaking lanes so you can actually get past these monsters, because they will slow right down naturally because they're so heavy. But in one stretch, there were roadworks happening, but they decided that the best spot to do these roadworks was right before and all through the time that you had an overtaking lane, that was a really good time for you to have roadwork speed of 40k an hour. So you couldn't overtake. 40? Yeah, I think it was 40. So you had this really long overtaking lane, and unless you sped to get past the vehicle, which some people did, don't entirely blame them, there was no way you'd be able to overtake a truck, because it was right while you were in the overtaking lane that the speed had been changed, had been dropped from 110 down to 40 k's. So you actually lost the opportunity to take advantage of the overtaking lane that was provided there for your benefit. I have yet to figure out the logic behind that. It's the first and only time I've ever seen anything like that happen around here, or anywhere for that matter. But it was just bizarre. And then I was wanting to get past the truck that I was following, because I didn't feel safe behind it, because its trailer kept moving quite a lot behind it. So I was staying back just to make sure that I was safe, and when I got an opportunity I overtook the thing. But that's probably why the driver was going slower than normal, because he'd probably feel it shifting. But the road was rough as well, which wouldn't have helped. But yeah, so that was interesting, but it was a really good time away. So as I said, my son is doing his automotive course, thoroughly enjoying it. He's also doing work placement as part of that, which he'd organised himself, somewhere local, thoroughly enjoying that too. Our daughter recently resigned from the place that she was working in, and had decided to go back, pardon me, to go back to where she had been before, the place that she was working in. Just excuse me a minute. Because where she was working, the environment had got, to all intents and purposes, pretty toxic, so it wasn't a healthy work environment to be in. So she left. She starts back in her old job the day I go back to work off holidays, and she and her husband are building a house, or getting a house built. They've got the slab down of that, which is really cool. So hopefully they'll be in earlier than they thought, because they've started the work on this, got the slab down a couple of months earlier than they planned. So let's hope that that means that they can be in sooner rather than later. But yeah, so it's been interesting. And I went and saw my GP for a regular checkup because of my diabetes checks and stuff, and she changed my medication regime, which I just started this morning. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Fortunately, I don't have to go on to insulin injections, but as she said, that would be a super last resort. There are a lot of other things you can do before then. And it's not that I'm anti-insulin, it's just that I'm not confident with trying to work out how many cc's of something I have because of something I've eaten. I find that rather confusing. Plus, I've also heard horror stories from people who are on insulin about their blood glucose levels fluctuating, something shocking, even when they do all the right things. So it's not pleasant. But my cholesterol's good, my kidneys are good, my heart's good. So I'm assuming my vitamin D was good. She actually got me to on vitamin D tablets when I was there last time. And I do eat red meat, and I found it interesting that my vitamin D levels had dropped last time, because part of what I do in my job is to put people's washing out on the line, and we do get a lot of sun here, so it's like, but I'm actually exposed to sun quite a bit, so that didn't make sense to me. Maybe it's not, I'm not out in the full sun, that's the problem. That I don't like being out in the sun. I'm very much a winter child. I like it when it's colder. I hate the heat. So I feel sorry for a few people in the UK. I've still got your...
Europe, anywhere.
Have got your heat wave going. I feel very, very sorry for you right now. I can sympathise because I hate the heat. Our summer last year was horrid, which is part of the reason why this diamond painting hasn't been finished, because it was too bloody hot to do anything, wasn't it?
It was fairly hot, yes.
All you wanted to do is freeze yourself to try and be comfortable. You know, go and open up the freezer and stick your head in it, that type of thing. Yeah. And you didn't have to have menopause to do that. Lots of people were doing that because it was too fucking hot.
While I've been working on the other end, this is what Zara's been doing, making good progress on this panel.
Yeah, I'm doing one colour on this, and what I tend to do is I will do it within one colour if there's more than one. Like I've got, say for example, a block of 4 or 5 of the same symbol. I'll do those and then I'll go back and fill in with the singles, because it makes me feel like I'm making progress. Hubby only ever does single placing. I'm the multi-placer with rounds. Squares I'll single because I don't get really much choice. I've tried multi-placing with squares and it doesn't work very well. Not very well at all. So trying to think of something else. What else can I say there? What else? What am I missing?
Don't know.
I must be missing something. Oh, actually one thing I did want to ask. Any one of you that knows where you can get the these light pad switch covers from, can you let me know down below, please? Because this one, because of the way I have to have this light pad orientated, I keep tending to hit the on-off switch. The diamond painting I'm doing up top, up in the house, doesn't actually have, I don't have that problem with, because I've been able to turn it around the other way, but I can't turn this around the other way because it's just
too big.
Well, not only, yeah, the painting's too big.
Yes.
So, I love my big paintings, but I think maybe I probably should do some small ones as well. I've been reorganising my craft room a little bit because I've got some storage coming for my drills, because I store my drills separate from my diamond paintings, and I've got some drills. I want to reorganise them better so it's easier for me to access them instead of me having to go through a whole heap, because I've got them in a box at the moment, and the plan is that I'll put them into this storage, and then I'll give the box, which is a massive box, to my hubby and see if he can find it useful. I'm sure that he'll find a use for it. He has enough stuff he could put in it. Seriously. My hubby is a hoarder. He won't acknowledge it.
No, I'm not a hoarder.
Yes, you are.
I just like keeping good quality equipment.
No, it's not just equipment. It's other things that he keeps too. I always found it interesting if ever we moved, I was trying to get rid of stuff, and the next thing I know, he's bringing home stuff. When I'm trying to get rid of stuff to make it easier. No.
Well, you get rid of stuff which makes space to fill, you see.
As a friend of mine said, all men, no matter who they are, have a hunter-gatherer instinct. So I throw stuff out, or women throw things out, then the men have got to go and hunt and find something else to replace it.
That's right.
And he wonders why his son's like that. It's funny that.
Oh, it's my son, is it? When he does things that... Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't you know that?
Your son when he's doing things right, and my son when he's not.
I thought that was something that was common. We're both very proud of our kids, and with everything that's gone on with our son over the past year, it's really nice to see things finally seeming to get back on track for him. So it's really good. It's really nice to actually have your children being able to make their own important life decisions themselves. Then you really know that you've raised them well and given them all the skills that they need in order to survive in life. Which is really what, as parents, what we aim for, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You actually raise them so that you can kick them out of the house. No, I don't mean it that way. You raise them so that they can fly by themselves, which is good. So what things have been happening in your lives late? Oh, I wonder how long I've been talking for. I've been watching highway to heaven while I've been doing diamond painting. Generally. It's the third time I've seen this series, I might add. So it tells you how much I seem to like it. Especially like character Mark Gordon. He's so funny. He's very much food oriented. He loves his food. Especially things like steaks.
That'd be a mistake, wouldn't it?
No, if you haven't seen it, then I recommend you do it. It's really good fun.
Food, glorious food.
Don't start singing or you'll get into trouble.
Why?
Because you're singing a song that you haven't got copyright clearance to sing.
Oh.
Didn't you know that?
I don't think anybody's going to complain if I start singing a song like that.
Oh, trust me.
Getting people to sing along with us.
Trust me. It happens.
I'm not doing commercial release.
It happens. So, what's been going on with your lives, folks? Hubby is sticking to the cover paper on this, to the plastic on this diamond painting.
Yep, I am.
And he's not even sweating. Are you?
No, I'm not sweating. But you know what they say, when you're on a good thing.
My hubby's talking more in this video than he's ever done on any of the others. It's weird. Don't know if I've got anything else to share with you. I've pretty much said everything. Anything else you need to say? Want to say?
I don't think so. We've shown improvement on the image, the work that we've been doing gradually, getting through it, which is the important phase.
Yeah, this is a very long, slow process.
It will take several months.
Yes. Can't show you the one that we're doing up top because it's a surprise and it's very personal, so you won't see that one. I just hope the people we're doing it for find it really special as well when we've finally got it finished.
And when I've finished that section which is showing now, I've got 2 panels to do there before Zara can actually roll the painting up to do more work.
Yep.
In the next section.
So I guess I know what I'll be doing in the meantime. Two, 4, 6, 7.
Do you want to sign up?
Yeah, in a minute. I also tend to, in case you're wondering, when I multi-place, I put 9 down at a time. Well, 9 is the maximum that I do. I've got a 9 placer on the end of this. And I did try the silver, the metal bend tip on this, but even with the washers that were in it, I couldn't get it to stop moving, so that's why I went back to the plastic. But the multi-placer one actually sticks in quite nicely, so don't know what the problem with the other one was. I'll sign off here on this WIP and Chat. I don't know when the next WIP and Chat for this will be, so don't necessarily expect it anytime soon, because I don't want it to be a weekly thing and we haven't made much progress, because you don't actually then see or appreciate how far we've come on this. So it could be another couple of months or so minimum before you'll see another update. But I hope you enjoyed this WIP Chat. If you like what you saw, then I invite you to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so that you get notified of each and every video that I upload. In the meantime, please keep safe, stay well, be kind to each other, and until we meet again, bye for now.